back to Jordan Samuel Skin Talks. Let's dive right in. It's been a while. I know I did an Instagram live, but other than that, it has been a while. Things are sort of, I don't want to say settling down. I never want things to settle or settle down. But I will soon be in a fulfillment center, soon being like in an hour, in 2 days, in a day. Most of my stock is currently there. I have some stock here for my facial clients that they can buy in-house. But once that's up and running, I can spend more time doing these things, education through YouTube, through Instagram, through Facebook, through Twitter. I don't really use Twitter. That was a lie. I just lied. So, and more time marketing the brand and getting it to you. Again, it's direct to consumer. You're not going to see it at stores, but that means it gives me more time to spend online with you guys and really, really educating and really helping you out to help your skin. With that being said, I have a lot of things. Let's get right into it. I mean, it's a long, you can't say, I don't know why I do that. You can't say anything. First thing, okay, so I see a lot of people talking about post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Of course it's an issue. It's an issue if you obviously have, not even acne, just a breakout here or there. Maybe you picked at it, maybe you extracted it and it wasn't quite ready and it leaves a little mark. There's both cats behind me, you'll probably see them. Oh, they're gonna have a cuddle session or maybe fight. We'll see what happens. And you guys are taking great action. You're doing your acids and you're doing your retinols, which is exactly what I would recommend for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. But I do not see a lot of you using an SPF every day. I know it's basic, I know it's boring, but if you're doing acids and retinols to help your post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and then going out in the sun and not wearing sunscreen with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, it's actually gonna make it worse. So it's not even gonna stay at bay, it's gonna make it worse. You have something that's already pigmented and is already active and the melanin cells are everything's going and sort of sparked. So you need to be protecting your skin with SPF anyway, that's so. But really with this, and I'm talking 365 days a year, even if you spend, 2 minutes outside, for those marks, if you want to see improvement, that's where I would go with that. So that's something to keep in mind. I do recommend, it's not green, and I sort of want to get off of that too, and I don't want to say that I'm not a green brand, but green to me is very specific. Green to me is olive oil, shea butter, and coconut oil, and oil infusion extracts, and all these wonderful ingredients that so many great brands have. I don't really have that. I use certain ingredients for a certain reason. But I think I'm probably going to come out with products that aren't necessarily green. They're not going to kill you. I sort of said this online the other day. I like to make products that are, quote unquote safe. It's a hybrid of science and nature, and they don't kill you. There's a lot of benefit to extracts not being oil infusions and to be extracted through a chemical way. Then you're getting out all the sort of like meat of the plant and everything you need. So there's not a downside to it. I just don't like to sort of put myself in the category of green because I don't necessarily think I'm green or in, with the green, the green brands who are green, they green and they're great. So I don't want to be with that. But the SPF I recommend is not green. It is Control Corrective, oil-free SPF 30, or EltaMD UV Clear SPF 46, which is such a random number, but I sort of love it. Get on the SPF bandwagon. Oh, okay, so somebody said, well, I've had a lot of people question because I talk about over lubricating and they talk about oils, etc., etc. And there's an esthetician facialist. There's actually many esthetician facialists, one of which is Eve Loam, who I love, who talk about over lubricating the skin, which is the thing. The skin can A, only take so much, and B, it doesn't then participate in its own healing and process if you're giving it everything and not letting the skin help. The thing with oil, and this is another thing that Jane Scrivener has said too, if you feel like you have used too much oil or you look like you have used oil, you've used too much oil. Oil is not 15 drops spread all over. I mean, sure, great if you want to and use that as a mask or something or use that as an oil cleanser, but an oil treatment that you are leaving on, you're not supposed to feel it. You are not meant to feel it. You're not meant to look like you have it on. Sure, would it be fun to, put some here as a highlight for something if you're going out? Absolutely. But in terms of oil, less is more, less is more, less is more. With A12, we're talking like 3 to 5 drops. I can get a lot out of 5 drops. I mean, 5 drops can really leave me too much, and so I bring it down to take it to the tits. It's true. Caroline. Trademark Caroline. Not me. I've written down like all these random one-word things like when I'm thinking about it, and now some of it I don't really know what it means, but we'll get there. Okay, so purging. I see people a lot of times talk about purging or ask me about purging of the skin. I don't like that term because I don't really think skin purges, but yes, there is a thing when you are new to acids, or you were new to retinols, or you were increasing your acid percentage, or you were increasing your retinol percentage. If there's anything, any bacteria, dead cell, sebum embedded in the pore, that stuff is going to be, you know, you're removing the dead cell, you're increasing cell turnover, it is going to be pushing it out quicker. So you might see that. Is that a purge? Not necessarily. I mean, it's something that was there. So you're not really, you know, quote unquote purging, but you are getting it out. Now, for instance, if you're using something like a cleansing brush and you're, you know, red and irritated and broken out, that's not a purge either. That's overstimulation. And you can get that too from excessive scrubbing. I actually love a good round scrub on the face. I think there is a lot of benefit to it. I think the Italians and the, you know, Turkish baths and the Japanese, and if you've been to a Korean spa, that's unbelievable, and they scrub the crap out of your skin, but it's amazing. Obviously gentler on your face and use, you know, round bead, but scrubbing is good. But excess of it or too much friction with it can lead to overstimulation, which can lead to breakout. That is not purging, it is just more of irritation. Food for thought. Okay, so I've covered this before, but then I saw somebody say something, I was like, well, yeah, exactly. So, you guys all know and love Jane Scrivener's Over Oil Cream. It is specifically made to be over oil. That does not mean every cream is, that sounded like I slurred my words or something. I didn't. I don't think I did. It's been a long day. Every cream is not meant to sit over an oil. Keeping in mind that most creams should be under an oil. Looking at it and talking to chemists about it, oils, molecules are big. So if you have a high water content cream that you are putting over an oil, it will feel like it is sitting heavy and greasy on your skin, which is what somebody commented on Instagram, and I saw that, I forget who now. And I thought to myself, well, yes, exactly. It's probably a high water content cream that they're putting over an oil, and nothing's happening. The oil's fine. The oil got in. But the high water content cream's not going to do anything. I mean, as you know, oil and water don't mix. Oil sits on top. Jane's cream there is water content, but it's really, really, really heavy oil content too. So it is meant to sit on top of that. That does not mean every cream will. So if you are using something like Kate Somerville Nourish, that should have an oil on top of it, not the other way around, ever. That'll give you the benefits of both. And also too, this time of year, an oil on a water-based cream like that is sort of icing on the cake and sealing it in. Something to think about. I try to turn the light down on my phone so I'm not so spotlighted, but I feel like I look spotlighted anyway. Oh, somebody asked about my routine. Okay, we can get, it's boring. It's boring. I feel like things are lost in translation sometimes with everything in skin, and I think that is sometimes the confusion. That sort of goes back to the amount of oil you're using. Like when I said 3 to 5 drops and that's it. I think sometimes people just hear things or think things and hear, you know, apply oil, and they apply the same amount of oil as they do a cream, which is going to be way, 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 way too much. And then they hate it and they don't like it. Same thing with the hydration, moisturization, not debate, but just what they mean and what they do. And I think sometimes people are surprised when they first get my Hydrate Serum, and if they don't know the difference. You know, the Hydrate Serum, my Hydrate Serum is a true hydration serum. There's nothing else in it. I could put silicones or oil in it to make it feel more silky or more dewy or more moisturizing, but then that's not a hydration serum. You're combining the two things, and that's fine, it's lovely, but it's not a true hydration serum that sort of everybody can use. I wanted to purposely keep oils out of it. I wanted to purposely keep lipids out of it and other things. This is just about, and there's no water in it too, so it's not a high water content. It's water soluble, it's aloe and glycerin, but there's no water in it. So I think sometimes that gets lost in translation. Like, that's a perfect example. People hear hydration, they think hydration, but when they feel it, they're like, oh, my skin doesn't feel like it's hydrated. It's not really meant to, just because you're getting water in the cell. Something like an oil, and people say, oh, my skin feels hydrated. I understand that they are using that term because it is a sort of generic basic term. In terms of skin, obviously we know it is different. Hydration dealing with the water content and holding the water content in the skin. Moisturization dealing with sealing it in, protecting the skin, keeping the water there, adding lipids, adding things like that. Yay. But sometimes I feel like things are lost in translation, so be careful. Be careful when you recommend things to each other that way, and be careful when you, well, you can talk about things however the hell you want, but just be careful when you're recommending things, etc., etc. So there also is two things. I know I've talked about this, but I'm going to keep bringing it up because I see sometimes some people struggle with their skin, but yet they're still using the same amount of product, or they're using all these products that could be irritating. I understand if you love a product, if you love the way it smells, if you love the way it feels, but if you have a feeling that it might be breaking you out, don't use it. Unless you don't mind the breakout. But that's one thing of separating skincare junkieism and good healthy skin. If you look at many estheticians, myself, Narita Joy, Renee Rouleau, Kate Somerville, Shani Darden, Eve Lom, the list goes on and on. We all have really, really, really pared down short routines. I think there's a reason for that. So I think it's fun, and I think if your skin can tolerate a lot of products and that's something you like and something you enjoy, go for it. But on a day-to-day basis, and this is going to take me right into what my skincare routine has been the past, well, probably like a year. I cleanse with a cleanser in the morning. I say a cleanser because it's usually plie, but as you know, I'm working on Grand Plie. I'm also working on Demi Plie. So it can be any one of those three. It is usually plie. I do hydrate serum all over face and eye, and then I do control corrective oil-free SPF 30. That is it. Why? Because I have a little bit of moisture on my skin. I'm protected from the sun. I'm not over lubricating my skin. There's a teeny touch of vitamin C in the hydrate serum. I have some peptides going on in there too, and then my face is cleansed and we're good to go. There's nothing else. Everything's, you know, perfectly pH balanced and protecting and wonderful. Nighttime, same thing. It's going to be either plie or grand plie, and then hydrate or étoile, or hydrate or étoile with retinol. That is it. I do take the hydrate always up and around my eye area, and I do take everything down my neck. And it's either or, étoile regular or étoile with retinol. It's never both. You don't need to have both. And that's it for my routine. And if you start reading articles about other estheticians and their routines, it's pretty much the same. Yeah. So again, food for thought. Just keep it simple. Doesn't have to mean boring. It doesn't have to mean basic. It's just, you know, using the right things. It's the same thing, and why the brand is inspired by the ballet too. When you're pushing your body so hard, you can keep going and keep doing stuff and keep trying stuff, but your body's going to break down. And if you figure out a way to do sort of like the right things at the right time, the right way, it's the same thing with skin. The right products at the right time, the right way, that's all you need. And you're not overdoing your skin's still participating in healing and its own natural moisturizing factor, which is through the sweat glands and through the sebaceous glands, then you don't need all of that. And you can either save your money, or you can have like, oh, I like these SPFs, and you want to play with different SPFs during the week. I understand that if you're into skin and skincare and skin products, I'm not gonna say like don't do that, but find sort of the exact steps that work. As you know, I've always been a fan of, you don't need 2 separate cleansers to do a double cleanse. You can do it with 1 cleanser, providing you enjoy the cleanser, obviously. And things like that. So keep it simple. Okay, we got that, 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 we got that. 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 Anti-aging Amber, hi. She just today posted something in her Instagram stories about a sample of a product that she was using, and she just started to see that she's had a reaction to these 2 ingredients. But then she knew they were in the product and she used it anyway, and she was saying that, I feel like JordanSamuel said something like, you know, try it anyway, you have to try it for yourself to see if you like it. And I do say that because also you never know the percentage of things in stuff. For a while when I trained with Kate Somerville, people would shy away from Cytocel and be like, oh, it has shea butter in it. I think it has probably like, I have no idea. So I'm not saying, just, you know, full disclosure, I have no idea. But when you feel it, you don't feel like, oh, this cream has shea butter in it. So like the percentage is probably so low. So again, it is dose dependent, which is why sometimes it's great to, you know, a cream could say water, coconut oil, yada da da. The thing is, it could have 80% water and 2% coconut oil and then 2% of everything else in there. So if it is dose dependent for you and not an ingredient thing, then you can play around with and see if there's things that you like. So it is hard for sometimes, you know, when people contact me about reactions or allergies before buying my products, it's like, yeah, I mean, if it's very straightforward, that's easy. But it's one thing to just say like, well, no, not that's, you know, you sort of have to try it. Keeping in mind too, to see the full result of a product, this is not on my list, this is coming up now. And you guys are pretty good about saying like, oh yeah, I've only had it for a day, but this is my review. But that review shouldn't come until 6 weeks. And I know that there's, you know, initial impressions, but I'm also saying that for you, for yourself. You're not gonna know with the skin cell cycle being every 28 days, you know, and they found it's now sometimes long, well, obviously as we age it's longer. But then parts of the cell sometimes longer, sometimes less. You really need a good, I would say 6 weeks at this point to really see what a product is doing, if it's doing anything. If you have any extended amount of issues with breaking out or otherwise. My battery's yelling at me and telling me that it's dead. But lastly, and hopefully we'll get this in, and most excitingly, I will be in London April 25th through May 4th. I am looking at doing a meet and greet of some sort. Don't quote me on it. We have to work out all the logistics, where it's going to be, where the room is, the price of everything. Not for you, for me. But I will be there, and I don't think I'll be able to bring product because that's going to be a whole other issue with the business. I will probably be able to have samples, which would be exciting. But regardless, I just want to meet you guys and talk skin and have a glass of wine. So even if it's something small and we're just at a bar somewhere, who knows? But look for that mid-late spring. It's going to be here so soon. It's already going to be February on Wednesday. I can't believe it. Anyway, this is yelling at me and it's rushing me and it's pissing me off because I feel like there's still more things I want to talk about. I want to talk about how awesome you guys are, how awesome the January Skin Challenge was, and how thankful I am for all of you guys for posting about my products. And I also sort of like that I still just have 3 products and that you guys like have figured it out and have sort of added them into your routine, or when you needed a simple routine, just on the 3 products. It means so much to me. It also excites me that you guys are understanding that concept of less is more. And I just think you guys are seriously the best. I love the community. I love being a part of it. I love educating it. I'm excited to start this year meeting more of you, obviously starting in London, hopefully New York City too maybe. But sending you all of my love. It's so nice to be back. Hopefully these will be more regular. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. The cats were boring. They are asleep. Anyway, bye guys. Thanks for watching.